What's going on, guys? Join everyone, aka Chicago Joey here, coming to you, joined today by my Pot Live in Omaha friend, the Taiwanese Typhoon, aka World War III.
Who crushed you?
Who I have crushed more than she's crushed me. That's not true. You didn't crush me there. That is definitely not true.
Check out Joe's Instagram.
Someone who I've stacked many times, my friend Sasha. Today we're doing a special Molly's Game movie review. Molly's Game just came out officially last weekend. It's been out for a couple weeks on release. There's going to be spoilers in this. Before I get into the spoilers and into the movie, I do want to say, whether you play poker, whether you don't know anything about poker, gambling, whatever, I recommend seeing Molly's Game. I think it's a great movie. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I left. She's like, what'd you think? I said 10 out of 10. Sasha thought a little bit less for the movie, but we're going to go through the movie. We're going to give some awards away, right? Talk about some categories, talk about the characters in the movie, and hopefully maybe we'll get Molly Bloom on the podcast maybe this week, maybe next week, something like that, and some other people closely associate the movie, right? Sounds pretty simple. Okay, so for you guys that didn't see the movie, I'm going to give like a basic background of it, and then Sasha, you can kind of fill in some things if I might have messed this up. So Molly's Game is about a woman named Molly Bloom who started, she was help run a high stakes Los Angeles private poker game with a lot of celebrities in there. Tobey Maguire, allegedly Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, I think Alex Rodriguez talked about being in there. We got some other names written down. Gabe Kaplan, who's the high stakes poker commentator. Nick Cassavetes played on a couple seasons of high stakes poker, I believe. Rick Solomon recently on Poker After Dark, and a bunch of other celebrities and those type of people. So she had a game in Los Angeles. Eventually, something happens. The game gets shut down, or the game, they quit. They move from the game. She goes out to New York City, starts an even higher stakes game in these, like, in the penthouses up there, whatever. She's you know, I don't know, man. It kind of, she is a beast. She's definitely a beast. You know, she's a former athlete. She gets a little out of line, and all kind of crazy shit happens. Eventually gets arrested for some ties to the Russian mob, I guess, or something like that, right? Some of the Russian mob, some Russian players that played in the game. And so the story just kind of follows her journey through that. We get to meet some different characters in her life, some of the players. This is from her account, according to the book that she wrote, Molly's Game, and also from the interviews that she gave with the director, Aaron Sorkin, in the movie. And yeah, they tell this story about Molly and what this, you know, there's some poker in there, right? There's some poker hands we're going to talk about in there, some poker moments, but it's more of a I would say the movie's more of a woman sort of going on the world, crushing the world, trying to figure out who she is in this world, right?
Yes, trying to stand on her own feet, trying to make a stand. Although I didn't love it as much as Joey did, but still a great movie though. Got nominated for a Golden Globe. We just watched that, and
yeah, I think Jessica Chastain, the woman that plays Molly in the movie, she was nominated for a Golden Globe, but she did not win the Golden Globe, unfortunately. And I think there was one other Golden Globe.
Joey was crying.
I was pretty devastated. I did want her to win. Shout out to Molly's Game. But yeah, I kind of want to talk more about the movie because I know a lot of people out there saw the movie. I want to give a smart perspective on it from someone who's played poker, who's played home games, who understands you know, that sort of world a little bit more than maybe most people do. Certainly not as great as I know some people out there do, but I think I have a better perspective on it. And my friend Sasha, you know, she's a genius, so we're just gonna have me and her. We're gonna talk about some categories, guys. I got the little sidebar here. Hopefully, I'm gonna add in that might have what we're gonna talk about. But yeah, man, we kind of have the list here, man. All right, so let's kind of, you know, there are so many different like little things about it. So let's start off talking about the poker scenes in the movie, which is kind of, you know, what, you know, obviously poker, right? I kind of thought there'd be more poker scenes in the movie. There really wasn't too many in there, kind of going into it. But, you know, I guess the first big scene we saw with Mr. X, so Mr. X is supposed to be Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man.
Allegedly.
I think allegedly, right? And, you know, so the story is told from the perspective of Molly Bloom. And you can kind of tell the people that she didn't like. Mr. X, the guy who was her initial boss, what was his name? Dean Keith or something like that. The people that she didn't like, her dad, she wrote pretty harshly, very harshly about it. And the movie kind of, you know, glorified Molly. They made her seem like, you know, she was this like all woman who could fucking do everything. And, you know, probably maybe she is, you know, I don't know, but that's kind of the way the woman was portrayed in the movie.
Strong character.
Very strong character, right? Like just someone that could kind of do anything that she really wanted to do, and someone that really crushed it. So I guess, you know, the poker scene started off Mr. X, right? Tobey Maguire. Well, how did that hand go? So he bluffs. It's kind of first, right? So the character that he's up against the hand with is supposed to be like some, you know, he's like the big shot, Mr. X, the big shot celebrity everyone wants to play with. And then he makes a big bet, and he's talking to the opponent, and Molly says that his opponent has the nuts, but he ends up folding the nuts, and then Mr. X flips over a hand, shows a bluff, and says, like, fuck you, or something. Say
yeah,
like that.
The other opponent didn't have the nuts. Well, obviously, he's not folding the nuts, but he did have a very good hand, which...
Let's talk about that. So Poker Twitter's a little upset with that. So they say he wouldn't fold the nuts. Now, guys, I don't know what these hands, they might seem unbelievable to you. They might seem like they're wrong. I don't know what home games y'all play in, but if you don't play in home games where someone might consider folding the nuts, you need to play in some better home games, because I've certainly been to games where, like, someone might get confused. They might think they have, like, you're talking to them, and I don't know, there's a different dynamic, a celebrity dynamic. This guy's supposed to be allegedly one of the best players in the game.
Well, plus he's a good actor. Tobey Maguire, obviously, you know, he's an actor, so he can act. So in the scene, he was trying to convince his opponent that he does have the nuts. He does have the absolute best hand, because at this point, only the absolute nuts can beat this guy's holding. Right. And Tobey Maguire, player X supposedly.
We're gonna call him Cody. We call him whatever. Shout out Tobey Maguire, man. Yeah.
Player X is supposedly put out a very good act and trying to convince the opponent that he does have the best hand, swearing on his mother's life.
Now listen, I don't know about you guys, but if somebody swears on their mother's life to me, I'm going to make a call against them. I don't know what's going on. If you want to give me a call, swear on your mother's life, because that's a sign to me, like, I'm going to probably make a call against you and catch you bluffing. So that's kind of our first hand we see. We see his opponent folding the nuts. And I got no problem with that hand. I like that hand. I like that scene. I thought it sort of told, you know, it gave a little context to how other players in the game feel about Mr. X. They're scared of him or whatever, like they're just intimidated by him. Or maybe it just shows that these players don't have that much experience, which is very common in high-stakes home games that you see. So this was one of the games out in LA. And then the other hand, these couple of hands happened in a row. You had the one character, what was his name? I know his real name is Houston Curtis, but I think it was Harlan in the game. They talked about Harlan being a commerce regular, a tight player. It's fun. It's a knit. First of all, you guys know how we feel about tight knits. We don't got love for knits to begin with. So there's a guy.
What? You don't got love for knits and what?
I hate knits and I hate short stackers. Okay, I hate knits. I hate short stackers more than ever. So we meet Harlan.
Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah, well, so the other poker scene, we meet Harlan here. Harlan's playing against a guy named Bad Brad. Bad Brad, I depicted as one of the worst players in the history of poker. Someone that just consistently loses. And it's a hand where Harlan has a full house on the river, but it's not the nuts. I think he had Queen 9. I think the board was King, Queen, 9, 9. 6 or something like that. He made a bet. Bad Brad shoves all in over the top, and now Harlan's like, doesn't play with this guy, doesn't know he's bad. So Harlan lays down the Queen 9, thinking he has pocket kings, and then, you know, Bad Brad shows him the bluff, and this guy, this tight old man Nit, loses his mind, goes on tilt, he goes crazy,
monkey tilt,
storming around, smoking cigarettes, asking for more money. Like, first of all, I don't know what kind of old man Nit is going to freak out like that. I thought the hand was great. Shout out to my buddy David Paredes. I know David Paredes, had him on the podcast, longtime poker player, had a part in helping to write that scene. And obviously, I think it was a great poker scene. It told a unique story of something we don't commonly see in poker movies, of a hand that has that sort of, that much going on with it, an actual real representation of a hand that a good player might play against a fun player. So what do you think about the hand? You like that hand?
I love the hand. Well, Bad Brad definitely is someone that you want to be playing with at the table, right?
Yes, you want as many Bad Brads in your game, and you want as many non-nitty type players in the game. But what happens is, I guess now Harlan, the character, he goes on crazy tilt, and we're gonna kind of jump around a couple categories. He goes on crazy tilt. I guess he's into the game for 1.5 million at some point. So the hand, this is my favorite hand. I love this hand. So he ends up having pocket queens. I think they're about $400,000 deep or something like that. So another guy has ace king. I think it ends up being like 110 in the. I'm not, might be wrong on my figures here, guys. It's not really gonna make the. I think it was 110,000 in pre-flop there. Ace king versus queens.
They went all in
on the flop, but pre-flop I think it was like a 4 or 5 bet or something like that. Flop came down queen 7-7. I think the pot was about 120,000. His opponent goes all in for like 3 times the pot. Obviously Harlan snap calls it. Turn, king, river, king. Now, I think this is actually supposed to be a true hand, by the way. And this guy, you know, Houston Curtis was, I think he was a producer in Hollywood or something like that. And, you know, interesting fact I found deep diving about this, and I'm going to do some more deep dive, is he was connected to Russ Hamilton. Russ Hamilton was the man who was I think he owned Ultimate Bet and Absolute Poker, and he was linked as one of the co-conspirators in the Ultimate Bet cheating scandal. And his account, Houston's account on Ultimate Bet, was one of the accounts that I think it was like H underscore or something like that. It was an account that was used to cheat and to move money around. So I don't know if this guy was, how much he knew or whether he was directly doing it or he let Russ Hamilton borrow his account. But, I feel less sorry for the guy after I fucking found that out, to be honest with you. Like, I see it, I was like feeling bad for the guy. And, now, I don't know. I feel as bad as he linked to this big cheating scandal. But he gets stacked by this hand. Now, some people say that shove a little questionable, but I think people make that shove all. That's how it works.
I goes to say, like, when we talk about, right, if you're a good player, knowing when to stop is very, very important. Knowing when to stop. Don't make one hand just ruin your life. Obviously, in this movie, that Harlan was a good consistently winning player, right? So he didn't have to go on monkey tail and lose all the money he has, apparently, or the money he never had.
Right, and then it kind of comes out that Tobey Maguire was staking. I think Tobey Maguire, and this is a common thing you'll find in home games, guys. Tobey Maguire was taking half of his winnings, but he was covering none of the losses. So this is how this works, guys. Let me tell you guys a little bit of how the home games work and how the higher stakes home games work, the ones that are really good, is that typically a player that'll get you in, or the host of the game, which is fucked up, will take a percentage of you if you're a good winning player. So how that works is that you might have to give 5, 10, 3, 15% sometimes, someone that brings you in. So if you win, you'll give them that much of your winnings. If you lose, you cover it all yourself. So that's something that people don't really know or might not understand about that. But he said it was 50%, which is fucking outrageous. And I mean, I don't know if the game was at Juicy. Like, I don't know if you can win. But
actually, Joey, I forgot to ask you. Do you have any interesting stories playing home games?
I do, but I have to save those for another day.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, now I'm curious.
I mean, we can't. We'll say that for another day.
I do as well, though.
I'm sure you do. We'll have to save those for the non Molly's game. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen stories like this, and I've heard of stories like this. I know people that do things like this to get in games and stuff like that. So that was kind of the extent of the poker scenes for the most part. There was one scene that happened when they took rake in the middle of the pot. And I guess the bet sizes were off. I didn't really pay much attention to that hand, so I don't know much about it. People on Twitter were like,
I think it's over $2 million.
Yeah, but people are crying about like a bet size. There was a bet and then like a minimum rate. I don't really know. I don't remember the hand. It didn't stand out to me. So, I'm not going to, I think the poker scenes in the movie overall were good. I wish that there were more of them, but I liked the way that they were told. My favorite hand is probably the Ace King versus Queens when he run a king. I mean, that's what's your hand? What was your hand? What was your favorite hand?
There were many hands that were shown, so that hand definitely was one of the most interesting ones. Yeah.
So, okay, so let's get into our favorite and our least favorite character. Who's going to win the award? So I think, there's a couple of characters I like, a lot of guys in the movie.
You like all of them.
I really do like them all. But, there's the lawyer, there's Idris Elba's character, is his black, strong lawyer. She's Molly's lawyer. I really loved him. I think he was a great character. And then Molly, I did like Molly. I think she's, she's a beast. She's, they talk about her being on a bunch of drugs at one point in time. Shout out the drugs. We got love for drugs around here on the
I
pot. That's true, you don't. But we do. It's okay. Sasha might not, but we got love for that. I liked her character. I just thought it, was well told. And then Bad Brad, from a poker perspective, he has found out he's the one that starts all this fucking trouble. He embezzled allegedly $25 million. I think it's actually not alleged. I think this actually did happen. Probably more money than that, I'm sure.
So what is your favorite character?
Favorite character in the movie, my award's going to go to Idris Elba's character, the lawyer. I can't remember his actual lawyer name. It's a made-up name. I think he's my favorite character. I don't know. What about you? What was your favorite character?
He's also my favorite character.
He's your favorite character, too? I thought you said Bad Brad.
He crushed it.
I know, he's sick, right?
I also like Bad Brad. Yes.
You like Bad Brad because you want to play in a poker game with Bad Brad.
Yes, I do. Who doesn't?
I know, for real.
Wouldn't you?
I know. I want to. He's awful. Seriously, he's terrible. Shout out to Bad Brad. He's invited to my game whenever he gets out of jail. I'd love to play with him. And now, least favorite character, right? Now, we were talking about this earlier. I kind of liked a lot of the characters, but I got a hands down my least favorite, guys. It's that motherfucking girl who proposed. They're sitting on the bed. She proposes to Molly. Let's take a rake. You're out in the wind. And if you read some interviews, I've read a lot of stuff after this that Molly gave interviews-wise. I've read director stuff-wise. I've read a lot of inside, sort of behind-the-scenes other articles on the games. And Molly talks about the biggest debt she ever had to pay out was $250,000. Now, that is a lot, obviously. But, like, she's making millions of dollars. I mean, I don't know. To have this dealer whose name I don't remember, this woman who she's like a local dealer at the fucking clubs. You're gonna have this woman get into your Molly, a smart woman, get into your mind, and now be influenced by this dealer laying on the bed, be like, hey, let's take a rake. You're too exposed. Whatever. I hate her, man. I hate her. I hated her. I fucking hated her, man. I just did. I didn't like her character. I didn't like her. I don't probably hate her in real life. I just didn't like her character. What about fair. Who's your least favorite character in the movie?
Yeah, this one's close. I have to say either player X or her boss Dean.
Why? Who's it gonna? Who? Why?
For obvious reasons.
I don't know. What are the obvious reasons? They're assholes. That's it. Well, that's a category later. Biggest asshole is a category. But your least favorite, the one person the character that you dislike the most, is one of those. I think Dean was an accurate representation of what I was saying. I think it was such a stereotypical representation of what like an LA sort of like guy that would maybe come from that background's like it's just so cliche that I liked it. It's just so stereotypical that I liked it. I liked the character. And Mr. X, I like that character too, man.
Yeah, but still, probably my least favorite character.
Well, one of my least favorite is definitely the fucking dad. I mean, my God, I could have done it.
Yeah, why?
I don't know, man. The dad reminded me of one of those guys on Twitter who just fucking thinks they know everything. They're never wrong. They're such a hardo. Like, you can't argue with them. It's just, I got no love. I don't know, the dad. I got no.
But he did admit his wrongdoing at the end, though.
Don't care. I got no love for that. I don't know. I wish I had a dad like that growing up, because I think I would have been able to get to an even higher level of athletics than I ever was able to because I never really dad growing up like that. So I wish I had a crazy dad like that. It would have been like, do this, do this, do that.
But once you had that, though, you probably would have turned out to be a different person.
That's very accurate. That we would not be here doing a Molly's Game review episode. I don't think so. But yeah, I think those probably two. For the most part, I kind of like a lot of the character. I think the couple like on the low character. I like the drunk guy who kept talking to Molly when he got really drunk at the end of the game, and then eventually called her and said, hey, don't come here, the FBI's raiding the place. I got love for him. I don't remember his name. And kind of like the hitman. I don't like that he fucked up Molly and, I kind of knocked her out back. I like the guy.
You just like everyone. Joey's got love for this movie.
I got love, man. Listen, these remind me of little Goodfellas. I kind of like that guy, so I like that guy. But yeah, it's kind of, favorite characters of the movie. Next we got on here, we got moment of the movie. Now, what was you think about your favorite moment of this movie, your award you'd give for best, jumped out to you. I think we had a lot of moments in there, whether it's the accident moment or whether it's getting kicked out of the home game moment. What moment for you stands out as the favorite moment?
Hands down, the speech that the lawyer gave to the prosecutor.
Right, Idris Elba. So they're in
hands down.
Very,
very good performance.
Yeah, they're in the prosecutor's room, and then Idris Elba's talking to he's with Molly, and then they're talking to the prosecutor. He gives this really impassioned speech about why she should be innocent.
Emotional, personal.
Yeah, man, it was sick. It was sick.
Yes.
This is really going to tie into this next thing, by the way, but that's definitely my moment. That's my favorite moment there. And my second favorite moment is when the tight knit lost his mind when he got bluffed. I love it, man. I love it. I love when the knit go on tilt, man. I love it, man. I love it. Anything to tilt the tight player, the tight old man. Oh my God, I love that he's outside smoking and he's flapping her. I loved it, man. I just love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. And now, we go to the lawyer, and now lies in the movie. Fucked up lies. I was devastated when I read this. Okay? The Idris Elba character, he's not real. It's not a real person. The lawyer's not black. They just made up the lawyer. So Aaron Sorkin talked about how he made up the lawyer, and he kind of was like a representation of himself in some ways.
So does she not have a lawyer?
She had a lawyer, but nothing like this guy.
So how is he made up?
He just made him up.
But she does have a lawyer, though.
She's got a lawyer, but the character's made up.
Okay.
We don't know if he's like that. It's just a pure made up for movie sort of character, which makes sense.
Yeah. What they have to create some stories, right?
I guess, but I was devastated. I was like, the lawyer was made up.
What else is made up?
So the book, they talk about, she meets with the lawyer, and then the book's out. The book didn't come out till after the case was already case was done. So then the book came out, and then also, and this one kind of hurt too. The scene where she crashes and gets hurt. Didn't happen. That didn't happen.
You know for sure?
She hurt herself. I guess she hurt herself in a charity race. So she did get hurt, but she didn't hurt herself in this big dramatic ski moment on ESPN that didn't happen. So the end of the movie didn't happen. That's fucked up,
basically
man.
Basically, it's the core of the movie.
That's what I'm saying. The core is Idris Elba. I still like the movie, but the core is a false thing. They're gonna see that and be like, dang, man, this lawyer's lit. Like, this scene was crazy. But it didn't even happen, man.
But it made for a good movie, though.
I'm not saying it didn't. I'm not saying it. I was just hurt. I was hurt.
Aww.
There is supposed to be like a true thing, and then they made up the big moment, and then that. You know what I mean? What else is made up? You know, I don't know, man. But kind of looking at the lies in the movie, those are the two big things I have in there. You know, kind of one thing. You know, David.
You know, there's no Santa Claus, right?
Is that true? I do know that. Yes,
oh, okay.
I do know that. Is my mother made up? I mean, I don't know. You know, my mother's made up. That's how it felt. We were learning Idris Elba's character wasn't made up. There's a fake person. So I don't know. Whatever, man. Kind of is what it is. You know. So next category we have is the hardest thing to believe in the movie. So
there's too many. I have so many questions when I watch the movie.
Well, what's the hardest to believe? Like what for me, I got a hands down winner. Hands down.
What is yours?
My hands down winner, it's easy. So it's that Molly didn't sleep on any of the players. Listen, I'm hoping to get Molly. It's one of I gotta ask about this. Come on, stop it. First of all, they did a good way of painting that Molly was this woman that every man in the game loved. You know, they mentioned this numerous times. Even Tobey Maguire's character, Mr. X, talks about, why don't you look at me, yada, yada, yada. The guys constantly showing their affection for her. She talks about it. And then she even mentioned specifically she didn't sleep with any players in the game. Come the fuck on, man. Come on. Are you kidding me? She goes to talk about how she does all this.
It's possible, huh?
No, it's not. There's no fucking chance. There's no. Listen.
I think it is.
No. You're telling me a woman who is now in this room with all these celebrities and people that are, you know, these guys are the most confident. They're walking around like they got the biggest dicks in the room. They don't say anything.
No.
I'm not saying it is, but these guys are charming. They got this money. She's making money on the game.
Assholes.
They're not. They can't be all assholes. They're not. I've looked more into the games. I know all the players in these games were not assholes. I know that from talking with people in the games. I know they were not all assholes.
So your bet is she did sleep with someone.
It was for over years time period. There's no chance she didn't. There is not a goddamn chance. Come on. I mean, come on. Oh my. It is not. If she. I mean, Godspeed. Like.
I think it's questionable, but.
Not one. Know. These are great people. These are great guys, man.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. Maybe they quit the game. She might. Yeah, man. I don't listen. I just made like kind of went out of your way. It's like when someone tells you they're not, tells you they didn't tell. I don't believe it. Like I don't know, and I don't care if she did. I would have. Yes. Listen, if
it's like someone that like the other day, right? So one guy 4-bet me pre-flop, and then after I folded, he went out of his way for like 10 minutes trying to convince me he had aces.
Yeah.
Like. If you already do have aces, you don't have to go out of your way to convince me, right?
Right. So she went out of her way to convince people that she was. So you thinking that she won too?
Yes.
Okay. So.
But I'm saying that's possible though.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. For doing the games that many years, I might have slept with one of the. You never know. She said there was like drugs flowing. Like who knows? I don't know, man. I like women, man. I'm gonna shout out to women, but like I don't. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe with the other hot waitress. Like, I don't know. Maybe there might have been something that went down, like a 3-way or 4-way or 5-way, something. I don't know. In a penthouse in New York City. Like.
Right. So for a game like that, there's got to be a lot of things behind the scenes going on. Like the movie
allegedly. Hey, let's not get. We don't know. Allegedly. It ain't in the book. It ain't in the book. Hooker, massage, drugs.
Yes.
No drugs.
Definitely make it seem pretty
no drugs,
innocent.
no sex, no anything. Listen.
Well, there's drugs, but the movie definitely made it seem pretty innocent.
I don't see drugs. Were there more drugs? I didn't see drugs.
Well, she was doing drugs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay.
Yes, but for home games like that, usually there's a lot of stuff going on. Definitely.
Is what it is.
Definitely.
All right.
But for me, though, the thing that I can't, that give me the most question is, why didn't she take the deal?
Oh, well, we're going to get into that as a big question. Why didn't she take the deal at the end instead of giving over the hard drives? Now, that is one of the biggest questions I have, too.
This doesn't really make sense to me.
Right.
It doesn't really.
What's in the text? I think something's in the text. I think maybe she might talk about murder. Maybe she incriminates herself in something even bigger that if that got discovered and that was public or whatever, you know, not to mention might have got killed with some of the messages with some of the people in there. So obviously there's some heavy stuff in these messages she doesn't want released. You know, it's painted as, you know, like a sense of pride or a sense of, you know, she's bigger than that. She's got her name left still. But to me, the whole, when she gets to New York City, like, that's when she says she starts doing the drugs. Like, things don't make that, that's not as smooth as LA. Not as smooth as LA. And my big thing, hard to believe, is this woman, she just gave up that LA game so easily. It gets shut down. She doesn't even fight. She goes into hiding 2 weeks later. The Molly Bloom that I took away from that movie is not going to go down laying down. She's going to be able to create some game from that. She'd be able to get some players to play. You're telling me you can never again get a game with all these regulars on this list? I find that hard to believe, that she would not even try to get a game before she would just take off. Like, she doesn't seem scared to me. She seems like, you want to go? Let's fucking go, bitch. Let's get it. So she seems like that kind of person who's like, fuck, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go on with you. And I don't know, to me, seeing that was hard to believe. I didn't believe her character or that. Like, there's got to be more to that story. And, you know, I don't know what the story is. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of things don't add up for me either.
But what else? What's some other things that don't add up?
Oh, like I said, she went to New York and very quickly just got to know all the right people.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
But maybe if it's for movies' sake, like they have to keep the movie short. But a lot of things, yes, they really don't make sense to me.
Well, what else? What else doesn't make sense? A lot of things. I don't know. A lot of things. I mean, a couple things. They don't. They're hard to believe. I think they make sense. I get kind of where they're coming from. I get how she could have. Well, not really. That, like, those are the big things for me. You know, for the most part, those are the big things. I think
one of the biggest things that really bug you, I think, is for her and her dad's encounter.
Listen. There are no chance. You've been in New York City, guys? Her dad's not gonna. I don't care what someone told her at the hotel. There's no way she's just gonna stumble upon her at the skating rink. And I get it. It's not meant to be real, but get the fuck out of here. If you've ever been to New York City, there's no chance. There's not a chance that the father is gonna stumble upon the daughter without seeing them for so long at the skating rink. Come on, man. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, that's
right, yeah.
Whatever, man. It's a movie, you know, meant to be embellished. But, you know, for the most part, there was the kind of those hard things to believe. I think the one time the guy brought a painting shot, you know, David pointed out to my friend, the guy brings a painting as collateral, like $1 million painting as collateral. I don't know. You know, it's hard to believe. So, for the most part, you know, I think those are my big things about the hardest to believe in there. And then, you know, we got biggest asshole.
Oh, yeah. This one is...
A lot of assholes in this movie.
Who's the biggest asshole to you?
I mean, I don't know.
For you in this movie.
I like Mr. X, you know, he's painted as an asshole. The Dean guy, he's painted as an asshole. The father, you know, painted as an asshole too. That random guy who pulled out chips to the table to try to cash him in. He was making counterfeit chips. One of the worst. One of the worst ways to introduce counterfeit chips to the game of all time. You know, kind of an asshole too. I don't know. Who do you go with? What do you think? I don't know. I don't have a strong winner for this. I like those guys a little bit. Except the dad. I fucking like him.
Mine has to be Player X.
You think he's an asshole?
Yes.
I think it's just, I don't know. Yes. I feel like he's not getting a fair shake in this because, like, he's made out. He can't, she won't even pay attention to him. He's upset about, like, look at how it's portrayed by him. He's portrayed as someone he can't.
See, that part doesn't make sense to me either.
Like, he's, like, gonna get all jealous. Like, you don't even look at me. You look at the other, I mean... But she don't hook up with him, so I don't know why is he getting so upset. Like, he's gonna leave the game because she won't pay attention to him. Right. You know, I don't know. Something about that don't you know? I don't know.
Plus, he's making so much money. Why would he care about the tips that she's making? That makes sense.
Right, that part didn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe that's meant to tell how much, like, cause they went out of the way to emphasize how much she's making in tips from, you know, the original guy, Dean, and then from the Toby's character. And I don't know if they just wanted to build that up and how much she was making in this overall or something like that, if they wanted to really, you know, put a hammer at home to people. But, you know, to me, like, I don't know. I think that was definitely, you know, something,
Right.
I don't know.
So Player X, definitely the biggest asshole to me.
Well, obviously, as portrayed in the movie, it's the Dean guy. I mean, come on. He's like the stereotypical Los Angeles asshole who's mean to his assistant, mean to people. Like, he's just, you know what I'm saying? I think he is definitely... one of the, I don't know, I think the father's an asshole too. I mean, come on, that guy is an asshole.
Well, yeah.
Cheats on his wife. You know what I'm saying?
No fathers are perfect. They're
cheated on his wife for so many years.
Yes, that part is bad.
Right, many years. That's fucked up, man. Yeah. That's an asshole to me. Fuck that guy,
Still
man. That's an
hilarious.
asshole. That guy cheated on his wife
I know.
for years. They got multiple kids.
Mhm.
Great kids.
Mhm.
Whatever, I don't know. Biggest asshole, I think that was, kind of have questions we had after the movie here, going through the list here, questions we had after the movie. So questions, did she ever get her money back? So the government took millions of dollars, they put an IRS tax thing on there.
It didn't really explain.
So from researching, I don't think they got more money back. I don't think so.
Mhm.
From kind of looking more into it, I think she's still in debt or whatever. I don't really know, but yeah, I think
what can she do now, though?
I mean, I don't know.
Felon,
she can.
if not, with
She's
money?
talking about. I think she's building a women's network right now. She's trying to help out women, which I think she's great at that. I mean, the movie does portray her in a very positive light. Now, that could parlay into book deals or parlay into coaching or appearances or talks or anything like that. Whether she can do a traditional thing. I mean, she's got a lot of knowledge clearly.
Yes.
Very intelligent person who is hardworking. So I think she can probably do a lot more than maybe she even thinks she can do.
Yes.
I think maybe a lot of people don't realize when they're successful at something is a lot of those qualities you had and you used to be successful at something translate to a lot of other things too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she can be successful probably in a lot of things.
I think so too.
She's a beast.
Yeah. I think it's all on her one's personality and one's drive, right? She seems like the type of person that no matter what she does, she's going to be good at it. So.
Would you want your brother to date her?
My brother?
If you had a brother, would you want your brother to date her? Shout out to your brother. Assuming like they're within similar age. Is she the kind of woman you'd want your family member to date? Or your dad to date?
My dad, definitely. No,
Okay.
my dad. No.
Okay.
My brother, probably yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd let Tutu enter cool. I mean, he's a little younger, but if he was older, I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe.
What?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really know, man.
Yeah. She doesn't seem like a bad person.
Right. I don't think so either. Like I said, I feel like there are things that are being left out of there, what happened, but
yes,
it's highly impressive to be able to put that sort of game on, run that. I mean, listen, that's tough to do from knowing how the inner workings of how those things work, to collecting money, to having not get in trouble. I mean, there's just so many little things that go into it. And now my biggest thing is that I think that if she just got greedy, if she kept the game, what it was, the 10K buy-in, 5,100, the game would probably still be going right now. But she got greedy. 50K buy-in. It was the Tony Wire character allegedly. I think she probably her idea. Let's raise the stakes. Let's make this game bigger. Let's add more prestige to this. Then let's make it a 250K in New York City. Let's raise it up there. So I think if she would have just kept it a little lower, she would have kept crushing, making money. I think she could.
I think she was just doing what she had to do though, because like in the movie, like they also made it obvious that if she didn't start doing that, there's going to, because people stiff her, or she's getting people are getting violent, people are getting jealous of the money that she's making. So there's a lot of issues that's starting to come up to the surface. So yeah, she probably was just trying to do what she had to do.
You think she's clean? She mentioned she's been clean for years at the moment. You think she's clean?
From drugs?
From what? I don't know, from whatever.
I hope so. I really hope so. I know it's something that's very, very hard to shake off, but I hope that she is clean. And yeah, I'll be very impressed if she is.
I'm gonna say I don't know. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard, man. Right now, especially, you gotta imagine she's getting a lot of fame, a lot of notoriety, a lot of guys, I'm sure, hitting her up, a lot of people hitting her up, wanting to hang out, spend time. Gonna be offers in there and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard to turn down if you think that for you to get acquainted with people who live this sort of high life lifestyle. A lot of those people do drugs. A lot of those people drink, they party, they get out of line. And now if you think this is your ticket to get back into that world, then maybe you might partake in those things, especially if you feel like those help you and give you an added boost. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of I hope to find out more about this. But like I said, overall, I love the movie. I recommend anyone see it. If you watched this far, and shout out to you guys. Let us know. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie, about these characters, about these categories for the places. And yeah, kind of what you're, what are you gonna...
How would you rate this movie?
10 out of 10. I loved it. I loved it, man. It was
10
cool.
out of 10?
I loved the movie. It was unique. It was different.
I do love this movie.
It's not like I just love the movie, man. I thought it was great.
It is a great movie. It is a great movie. Even for people who don't play poker, still worth watching.
Definitely a great movie. What's going to be your biggest takeaway from this movie?
My biggest takeaway,
On the spot here. My biggest takeaway, while you think about it, is that having a home game Makes you a lot of fucking money. That's what I mean. Like, my God, how much money they made millions
I
of
really
dollars. I
want
need to
to talk
start a
about
home
the
game.
stories, though. I really want to talk about.
Well, that's
home game
another
stories.
time,
Okay.
another time for that. So yeah, but I think that those are the biggest takeaway.
Okay, so my I was the most impressed about her ability to not back down.
But she backed down from the home game.
Yeah,
and
so
she
that
just
part doesn't
left.
make sense. But
Right.
still, a lot of it really shows a lot of her determination to prove herself, to make a stand for herself. That part I really really like. It's very inspiring for men and women out there. Yeah, just send out a good message, not give up, and just do the hard work and. Yes.
Well, there's our review, guys. Let us know what you thought. Big shout out to Sasha for coming out here, chatting up to me a little bit. Cheer. How was that? High five? What was that? What was that? Okay. That was it. So, guys, let us know what you thought. Much love. Take care.
Yes.
Peace out.